You might think Hitler's moustache looks like a style choice. It wasn't. It was shaped by the darkest moments of war. And before it became one of the most recognisable pieces of facial hair in history, it was nothing. There was no moustache, just a boy's face. That is where this story starts. When Adolf Hitler was a boy, the moustache did not exist yet, just a young face in Austria. He was born in 1889 in a Europe that still looked stable and Germany, still relatively new as a unified power, was growing harder, louder, more ambitious. The Europe of his childhood was not calm for long. Germany and Britain were becoming rivals. The great powers were watching one another, building armies, preparing for something larger. Hitler was still just a boy while all of that was forming. And on his face, still nothing, no harsh block of hair, not even the earlier moustache yet. That came later. As Hitler moved out of childhood and into early adulthood, the face began to change. The skin roughened, the jaw sharpened, and the first signs of facial hair started to appear. By the time Hitler was a young adult trying to make his way in Vienna, the moustache had begun to take real form. Not a strange form, not yet. That matters, because the moustache the world remembers was not the first version.
Im ganzen Deutschen Reich ist es nicht anders.
In 1914, Europe broke apart, and Hitler, like millions of others, was pulled into the storm. He entered the First World War with that earlier, fuller style. The trenches changed everything. And then came one of the ugliest and darkest developments of war. Gas. Poison gas changed what survival looked like. If the gas came, your life depended on equipment, and the most important piece of that equipment was the gas mask. That is the moment the moustache story changes. A broad moustache could easily get in the way. Poor fit means gas slipping through. War only cared if it worked with the mask, and that pressure pushed the older moustache inwards, trimming away the wider sections. Hitler came out of that First World War carrying more than one thing forward. He carried anger, defeat, and he carried the new shape of the moustache. The war creates a smaller form, then peace fails to remove it. Hitler began remaking himself into a political figure. The more often the face is seen with the same form, the more fixed the form becomes. By the time Hitler takes power in Germany, the moustache is no longer in motion. Its journey is over. It has arrived at the form history will keep. Small, hard, compressed, severe. And from that point on, it becomes attached to a regime. The journey is small on physical terms, just facial hair changing shape over time. But historically, it becomes enormous. Because very few things in personal appearance become unusable forever. Most styles return. Haircuts come back. Clothes come back. But some details get trapped by one face and one history. The moustache style itself effectively died. Not because it was impossible to wear, but because the world could no longer see it neutrally. It had been fused too completely to Hitler's face and what Hitler became. That's why the origin matters. Because if you only look at the end, it feels like a symbol that appeared complete, as if it arrived fully formed on the man history remembers. But it didn't. It had a life before that. But now, the tache belongs to Adolf Hitler forever.